All right, thanks, guys. Welcome to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for today's NBA, college basketball, and NHL action. Before we go ahead and get into things, just had a great call, great conversation with my dad last night. Kind of called me up out of the blue, and he said, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I know that the past couple days your leans haven't been all that great, but everybody's getting crushed right now, including myself." And as I took a look in the comments, that was a similar sentiment among a lot of people. A lot of folks having a tough time when it comes to capping these games in the past couple of days. And my dad was in the same boat. He kind of saw the podcast and saw I was in the same boat. And he said, "Hey guys, listen, everybody's getting crushed right now. And when all the dogs end up covering, you can't predict that." We actually had a great laugh about the Pelicans-Suns game on Saturday night where they hit a buzzer beater and then the coach calls a timeout when he had none, thus getting a technical and losing the game on the line. I've never seen a game end like that. So certainly some bizarre stuff. But my dad, the big V, the V-man, wants me to know and wants everybody else to know that everybody's getting crushed, including himself. And he's had a great year handicapping, and of course the past week or so, things have been rough. But anyway, if you're getting into this hobby and you can't take 3 days, 4 days, hell, 2 weeks worth of downtime, worth of losses, this ain't the hobby for you. And don't come here looking for consolement. Don't come here looking for us to feel bad for you, because we don't. Suck it up and be a man. All right, this is gambling. This is handicapping, and you might not be in the right hobby if you can't take 2 weeks of losses. So suck it up, bitch. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. I don't think that's the exact message he wanted me to tell you, but I'm telling you, suck it up, be a man, take your losses, take it on the chin, and get back to work. Get back on your feet. Anyway. Let's go ahead and get started. Sixers at the Charlotte Hornets, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in the Queen City. Now, Charlotte opened the betting as the 1-point favorite, total at 224.5. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing a slight fade of Charlotte when it comes to the spread. That moved down to a pick'em contest. We're also seeing movement upward on the total. That moved up to 225. So once again, the Hornets open -1 down to a pick'em. Total open 224.5 up to 225. 72% of the consensus is shaded toward the over. 70% of the consensus, 70% shaded toward the over. 72% leaning toward the Sixers. And at the moment, Philadelphia is -105 on the money line. Now, Joel Embiid is listed as out for tonight's action. Meanwhile, for Charlotte, Parker's out and Cody Zeller is questionable. Now, Philadelphia has won their last 4 straight. They're also 7-2 against the spread in their last 9, taking on Charlotte. Philadelphia ranks first in defending the 3-ball in the NBA. They also rank third in road offensive rebounding. Now, Charlotte, on the other side, completely different story. They've only covered 8 out of 23 games, taking on teams over 550. They've also failed to cover in 6 out of their last 7. And when taking on Philadelphia, they're just 1-9 straight up in their last 10, taking on the Sixers. Now, total-wise, Charlotte is 4-2 to the under in their last 6. Philadelphia, 8-2 to the under in their last 10. Give me Philadelphia in the pick'em contest and the under 225 in that matchup there. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout once again and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Tuesday's NBA, college basketball, and NHL action. And normally I don't lead out with a profanity-laced rant, but I had a great conversation with my dad, and he's actually been on the podcast a couple times during the live streams. And obviously a great guy, great influence, and certainly somebody that I revere in life. And he's full of great information, both when it comes to business, handicapping, legality. So guy's a wealth of knowledge. So if he tells me that everybody's getting pounded right now, I know he's right, because he is one hell of a handicapper. But anyway, moving on. I just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my Patreon page. That's my website. It's patreon.com/BrockPage. Doing pretty good on Patreon right now. Doing really good on totals on that website. So check it out. There's plenty of free content there as well. Plus, we give out at least one daily play a day. And memberships begin at just $1.99 per month. So there's a lot of great information here. We do a lot of free leans on this YouTube channel, but we really narrow those plays down when it comes to the Patreon page. Obviously, you can't handicap every game. That's what I do on this channel for entertainment purposes. But when it comes to the Patreon page, that's where we're making our money and our really, really strong plays there. So check me out, patreon.com/BrockPage. Link is in the description section below. All right, let's go ahead and hop back into some more lines and personal leans. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Rockets at the Hawks, 7:30 Eastern tip-off in Atlanta. The Rockets opened -7, total 231. We're seeing movement upward on both the spread and the total in this matchup here. Houston's now 7.5, total 232 and a hook. So once again, the Rockets open -7 up to -7.5. Total open 231 up to 232.5. 68% of the consensus is leaning toward Houston. 65% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Hawks are plus 275 on the money line. Now, Atlanta's 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. They're also 7-3 ATS in their last 10. They rank 9th in the NBA in home offensive rebounding. They are 7-3 against the number in their last 10, taking on Houston if you're into historical trends. Now, the Rockets have failed to cover in 2 out of their last 3. They've also covered just 5 out of 18 games, taking on teams under 450. Unbelievable there. They're also covering just 4 out of their last 14 at the current point spread. Now, total-wise, we're looking at a Houston team who's 7-1 to the under in their last 8. Meanwhile, Atlanta's just 46% to the over in their games at the current posted total. Give me the Atlanta Hawks plus 7.5 and the under 232 and a hook in that matchup there. Next game, Warriors, Minnesota, 8 o'clock tip-off in Minnesota. The Warriors open -5, total 226. We're seeing movement upward on both the spread and the total. 5.5 up to 226.5. Once again, Golden State open 5 up to -5.5. Total open 226 up to 226 and a hook. Right now, Minnesota's plus 180 on the money line. Now, Andre Iguodala and Boogie Cousins are both listed as questionable for the Warriors. Meanwhile, for the T-Wolves, Rose is doubtful and Teague is out, not playing. Regardless of that stat, though, Minnesota is very good at home. They're 23-10 straight up on their home court. They're also 6-4 against the number in their last 10, taking on Golden State. The Warriors have failed to cover in 6 out of their last 9. They're also just 4-5 straight up in those ball games. Now, total-wise, Minnesota's 70% to the over in their last 10. Give me the T-Wolves plus 5.5. Not buying the hook. In the over 226.5 in that matchup there. Where are we at on Hook Watch? I think we're on day 8 or day 9 of not buying the hook and not getting burned. I set the line at 7.5 days. I think we went over. I need my man Oliver Walker to let me know in the comment section below. And shout out to Danny J as well, commenting every single day. If you want a shout out, just drop me a line in the comment section below. I'll try to remember you and sneak you into the podcast there. All right, next game, it is going to be Lakers-Bucks, 8 o'clock tip-off in Milwaukee. The Bucks are open -11, total open 234. And since those markets opened this one up, no real surprises here. We're seeing money come pouring in on Milwaukee. We're also seeing movement toward the over when it comes to the total. We're looking at 236 on the total now, with the spread moving up to 12.5. So once again, the Bucks open 11 up to -12.5. Total open 234 up to 236. 68% are leaning Milwaukee. 81% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Lakers are plus 540 on the money line. Chandler, Stevenson, and Hart all questionable for the Lakers. Ersan Ilyasova, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Brown are all on the injury report. Ilyasova is questionable, Giannis is questionable, and Brown is out. Anyway, two tough names to say. Ersan Ilyasova and Giannis Antetokounmpo back-to-back. But anyway, those guys are questionable for tonight's action. Brogdon's still out for Milwaukee as well. Milwaukee has failed to cover in 2 out of their last 4. They've dropped 4 out of their last 8 straight up. They rank 18th in shooting the 3-ball and 19th defending the 3-ball. Now the Lakers on the other side, I get it. They're in disarray. They're playing some really bad basketball. They're just not a great team, but they still rank 4th in road field goal percentage. They are shooting 47.4% from the field in that category there. And their offense is putting up 113 points per contest on average when traveling. So the Lakers are not hapless. They're not feeble. They just can't put together a win. I mean, they can play the game. They're a bad team. I get that. But I think they got a shot at keeping this one close. Anyway, total-wise, Lakers 5-3 to the under in their last 8. Milwaukee, they rank first in defensive field goal percentage at 43%. So I think we'll see this one stay under. But I think the Lakers can keep it close. Give me the Lakers plus 12.5 in the under 236 in that matchup there. And that's another dog. That's 3 dogs in a row I just picked, which we don't see a whole lot. Normally, I tend to be a chalky guy, but hey, man, whatever. Next game, Brooklyn at Sacramento, 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off in California. The Kings open 4.5, total 231.5. We're seeing movement downward on the spread, upward on the total. -4 in the spread, 232 on the total. Sacramento open 4.5, down to -4. Total open 231.5, up to 232. 65% are leaning Sacramento, 62% shaded toward the over. Right now, Brooklyn's plus 150 on the money line. Alan Crabb is listed as out for the Nets. Brooklyn's also just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10. They rank 27th in road field goal percentage. We're looking at 43% in that category there. Now Sacramento's 25-10 against the spread at the Golden One Center. They also rank 3rd in home 3-point shooting. We're looking at 38% in that category there. Sacramento's 5-1 against the number in their last 6. And when it comes to the total, Sacramento 7-3 to the under in their last 10. Brooklyn 7-1 to the under in their last 8. Give me Sacramento -4 in the under 232 in that matchup there. Next and final game for the show, it is going to be Pacers Clippers, 10:30 Eastern tip-off at the Staples Center. The Clippers open 4.5, total 219.5. We're seeing movement upward on the spread, downward on the total, -5, 219. Once again, LA open 4.5, up to -5. Total open 219.5, down to 219 even. 70% are leaning Clippers, 69% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Pacers are plus 175 on the money line. Indiana's 2-1 against the spread in their last 3, 9-3 ATS in their second of a back-to-back. Indiana also ranks first in points allowed and second in road defensive rebounding. The Clippers have failed to cover in their last 3 straight. They also rank 27th in home points allowed. We're looking at 114 points per contest in that category there. Now, total-wise, the Clippers are 3-1 to the over in their last 4, 24-11 to the over on their home court. Give me the Pacers +5 and the over 219 in that matchup there. All right, let's take a look at some college basketball. We have 2 playing games tonight. We have a bunch of NIT games, or the other tournament, whatever it is. It's still called NIT. I don't know. Come on, Brock. You gotta know this. But anyway, I think it's the NIT. There's another tournament. I think there's like 2 other tournaments going on at the same time. But anyway, we're